Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Mandala Art. I'm Khadija and I share art tutorials that help you create your own mandala dot paintings. I will be uploading new videos every Friday, so please subscribe, hit like, leave a comment, as this helps the channel grow and reach more talented artists like you. In this video, we are creating a beautiful rainbow colored mandala that has a super colorful and exciting effect to it. I love this palette because it really gives me positive vibes and it makes me feel like I'm creating something magical. And here is a photo of the tools that I'm using to create this mandala. I'm painting on a canvas with wooden dowels and using a compass to create my outline. Getting right into it, the first step is prepping your base with either black paint or black gesso, and I like to use the color black as my background because it makes the other colors really pop out. I also recommend using gesso because it primes the canvas much nicer. You definitely don't have to use it. Black paint also works just fine. You're going to simply pour it onto your canvas and use a sponge or a paintbrush. I personally prefer a sponge to cover it entirely. Once that's dried, you're going to find the center of your canvas to know exactly where to place your center dot. And for this, you're going to need a ruler, pencil, and eraser. If you search on YouTube how to find the center of a circle, you'll get plenty of videos on how I did it here. But I will in the future definitely be making a video about it here on my channel. Now, to create your circle guidelines, you're going to use a pencil and a compass. You'll simply place the compass on the center of your canvas and draw circles going outwards. And the size of each layer is dependent on what size your tools are, so it's completely up to you. There are no rules, so just get drawing and have fun with it. My Lazy Susan turntable comes so handy at this step of the process. As you can see, I'm just using it to spin the canvas with my left hand, and it's helping me create the perfect circles. So now that your canvas is fully prepped, we are ready to put some paint on it. For this design, I use the colors white, red, orange, yellow, green, turquoise. And as you'll see, I create different shades of the colors by adding white, and this allows me to add top dots and create depth to the mandala design. Also, please keep in mind that if you are following along, you probably will have to pause until you're finished each layer because I did speed up this video for you to make it short and simple. So if it's taking you longer than it is for me here, it's just because my video is sped up. Otherwise, it does require a lot of time and patience. Now, I really want you to create something you're happy and satisfied with, so I'm going to share with you 5 things that I've learned and that I practice each time I paint. Number 1. A little paint does go a long way, but you don't want to hold back too much either. You can see in my palette, I have each pod, I guess I don't know what to call it, basically full, because I want to make sure for each dot I have enough paint to dip my dowel in. And whatever is left over once I'm done with the color, I don't stress about it because I know I'm going to be creating lighter shades later on by simply adding white. And if not, you can just pour it back into your paint bottle. Number 2, make sure you dip and dot for each dot. I'll say that again. Dip and dot. Dip into your painting and then dot onto your canvas because you want to make sure you have enough paint on your tool to create a full, round, circular dot. Number 3, when you're holding your dotting tool, make sure you're holding it straight up and maintaining that 90 degrees when you're pressing it down as well, because this will help in creating nice, round, circle dots. And number 4, this one's really important, and I'm going to mention it in every single one of my videos because I just can't stress how important it really is. You want to keep an open mind. You don't want to be too hard on yourself. This takes a lot of practice, patience, and I promise you can get there too. One thing I've had to really open myself up to in this process of learning dot painting is making mistakes, failing, creating imperfect, non-symmetrical dots, and creations. Because you won't always have perfectly aligned and symmetrical dots, and that's totally okay. You don't want to beat yourself up over it for not achieving perfection, because I promise you no one else is, and it's something completely unattainable. If you're following me on TikTok and on Instagram, you know how much I speak about how therapeutic and calming dot mandala painting is for me. Practicing the skill and learning more about it is what actually got me through the 2020 lockdown and helped balance my mental health. When I paint, it's my time to center on being present, and it's my time to relax. Learning to connect the dots, I've learned to become more mindful, enjoy the creation process rather than become fixed on perfecting the product. I always say, enjoy the process and you'll love the product. And I'm actually so OCD, so trying to let go and not obsess over being perfect in my paintings and my creations and in other areas of my life, it was really hard. But I am proof that it is possible with practice, of course. I mean, the last time I tried to paint seriously was in high school, and that was like years ago. So I remember I wasn't great at it at all, and I didn't enjoy it. And I think it's because I was trying to be perfect. So I told myself, I'll stick with the arts and crafts, I'll stick with scrapbooking, collaging, graffiti art, sketching. Then when I was introduced to dot painting last 2019, I keep saying last year like we're still stuck in 2020, but in 2019, I tried it, and I actually didn't suck at all. My mind completely opened up to how this could be something for me. And when I started experiencing how meditative, calming, and relaxing it was, I became completely addicted. I started doing it every day, every night, especially because at the time when I got into it more seriously is when, the lockdown just happened. There was so much uncertainty, so much chaos. And doing this every day was bringing me so much joy and relief. And it was giving me an outlet to express my creativity, express what I was feeling, and just find peace in my everyday life. And I do want to talk a bit more about the rainbow palette and why I love to use it. And it's, as I mentioned, not only because it's magical, but also because I feel like when I'm painting it, it's an indicator that good luck is coming my way, prosperity, there's new beginnings, and there's growth that's going to happen. And because in the year of COVID, I went through this internal awakening where I started seeing things differently, gaining a new, fresh perspective on my life, I feel I'm able to express all of that through these colors. It's like when I paint the rainbow, I have this reassurance and this feeling of peace that I know the universe is working in my favor. It's working for me, and that everything will happen as it's meant to be, And I'd love to know what it does for you. What does the rainbow mean for you? What emotions does it evoke in your heart? Let us know in the comments, and let's put out positivity into the world together. So now I want you to vibe to this awesome chill music, enjoy learning, fall in love with the process, pause this video when you need to, and get creating. I'll come back closer to the end with some more tips. So this completes the first layer of this painting. I'm going to leave it overnight so it can completely dry and turn itself into looking like this. Now I'm able to add white to my colors and create a lighter shade so I can add top dots. So if you want, you can be done painting at this point of the process. However, if you do want to add top dots, you're going to want to listen closely. Your first layer of dots should preferably be of paint that is more fluid. So this depends on the brand and the thickness of the acrylic paint that you're using, and you'll only learn what works for you once you start experimenting for yourself. But here's a pro tip. If you want to make your paint that is more on the thicker side, less thick and more fluid, you're going to add pouring medium to your paint, and you're going to mix it up until you get the consistency that you like. And if you're wondering how much of it do I add, you're just going to add the same amount of how much paint is in your palette pod. On the other hand, if you're using thicker paint and you like the plumpy dot effect, go for it and just leave it as is. I sometimes like that too in my paintings, but for the one I created here in this video, I used more fluid paints because I wanted to have that effect for it. Also, when you are adding your top dots, you are going to use the tool or the dowel that is one size down from the tool that you used for that first dot. And if you want, you could also go for a triple dot once the second layer completely dries. And that's all for this rainbow mandala tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to learn how to create a pastel mandala, do check out my first video that's also covering the beginning to end process with some great tips on how you can get started on creating your own masterpiece. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you found it helpful, if you followed along, please subscribe to my channel, hit like, leave me a comment. I love to hear from you guys all the time. And if you want more dotting tips, inspiration, or if you want to join me painting live every night, connect with me on TikTok and send me a DM on Instagram. I am Mindful Mandala Art everywhere. Now you can also shop my art, which is really exciting, or simply support my passion by favoriting my Etsy store. I've linked everything in the description below for us to connect easily. Until next Friday, I love you, stay blessed, stay present, and keep doing more of what makes you happy.